Welcome to this LEX 18 Digital Conversation. I'm Davidson. Well, the clock is ticking down on the 2018 federal and state tax filing season. Are you ready? Do you still have questions? What about the new tax laws? What are some of the common new mistakes taxpayers are making? And will the new laws change how your refund amount looks? Well, here to help some last-minute filers is Vanessa Prince. She is a tax professional with H&R Block. Welcome.
Hello.
This is the time of year I think everybody from tax preparers to, taxpayers kind of dread, and that's April 15th every year. What are you seeing at H&R Block? Are a lot of people coming in last minute, or have people kind of been filing slowly but surely?
People have been filing throughout the tax season. We do have a lot of people who procrastinate. I think that's just a given at any time, because a lot of people have had changes to their taxes this year that they didn't anticipate, and they've used calculators online to give them an estimate. So we have had a lot of people to come in and ask questions about all the changes.
Well, let's talk a little bit about it. First and foremost, the tax paperwork, the papers, the tax forms are drastically different. They're kind of shocking. What are you noticing about let's just say the 1040 form? It's a whole lot shorter than it used to be.
Yes, absolutely. It is a lot shorter this year because of the Tax Cuts and Job Acts law that changed that, the impact that it had on tax reform. The form has changed, but they have added additional schedules. So they shortened the 1040, but they added 5 additional schedules that we weren't used to seeing in the prior years.
And that's Schedule 1 through Schedule 5 that you have to do along with the Schedule A and Schedule B, and some people, I guess, Schedule C as well. Do you have to include those first 5 schedules in when you put your packet together, or is that just for calculation purposes?
Well, it depends on the personalized circumstances that each person has. Some people won't need but just 1 or 2 of those schedules. Some people may need all 5 schedules. It just depends on your personal needs.
Right. And then we move to the other traditional forms. So all of the numerical forms that you need are still there, available at irs.gov for you to get, right? Let's talk a little bit. People are talking in the news a lot about their tax refund. Many people are saying, oh my gosh, I got a tax refund last year, but I'm not getting one this year. What changed, and how can we make sure that next year we're not paying, but we're actually getting a refund?
So if you are seeing a refund surprise this year that you had never received in prior years, if you'll think back to February of last year, you started seeing a little more in your paycheck than what you had seen in previous days, or pay days, sorry. So if you remember back to that time, and you did not make a change to your W-4, then you need to come in and sit with a tax preparer and let them do some W-4 planning with you to make sure that you get that refund that you're looking for at the end of the tax season.
So you're saying potentially increase your number of deductions?
Yes.
From maybe 6 or 7 to maybe 3 or 4 to maybe kind of help you to not have to pay and maybe get a refund in the future.
Yes.
Some people are asking about getting a chance to kind of breathe a second, read the paperwork, do it themselves, and get a delay on having to file their taxes. When do you have to have that in?
So you need to file a tax return before April 15th or an extension, because the penalty for failure to file is 10 times greater than the penalty for failure to pay. Ooh. So by April 15th, you need to either file your return or file an extension for the return. If you file an extension, you get an additional 6 months of time to file the return without being penalized.
Can I go online to H&R Block to do these things, or do I need to actually come into an office?
No, you can use our online services. We have My Block account. If you find that you are having difficulty completing that yourself, you can request that a virtual preparer assist you throughout the rest of the return.
Talk to me about tax preparers. Virtual, how does that work?
So we have virtual preparers in our locations, in our local H&R Block stores, and they assist clients via the internet.
Okay.
The client uploads their documents through a secure MyBlock account and corresponds back and forth with the virtual preparer throughout the rest of the tax return.
What's the cost for that?
It varies depending on your personal needs.
Right. But I noticed in your commercials you say transparent fees, so you know what you're going to have to pay up front and not kind of at the end, right?
Yes. So if you request a virtual preparer, they will let you know what your fee is going to be for your situation prior to getting the service from the virtual preparer. So you pay up front, and then the preparer continues on with your return.
What are some of the common mistakes that people have in the past been making on returns, and what are some of the ones that you're seeing now with the new forms?
So the common mistakes that we see are still about the same. People are choosing the wrong filing status. You may fall under more than one criteria for a filing status. Mm-hmm. Say a single grandparent who's had custody of their grandchild all year. Right. Just because they're single doesn't mean that they should file single. If they've had custody of that child all year and they're the sole provider, the most advantageous for that filing status would be head of household.
Right.
So that's one common error that we see. And then clerical errors, just math errors would be another, and not taking the credits that they are eligible for.
And signing. A lot of people forget to even sign.
Yes.
Now, I noticed, too, that there is a form now that you have to place with a payment if you have to pay. There's a voucher form that we never had before. So we used to, if we owed, we had to stick a check onto our return and send it off. But now you have to file a separate voucher form, right?
Well, the voucher is just to make sure that that payment gets posted to your account and to the accurate account.
Well, it used to be that they could do it without. It looks like we're having to have more and more paper. It looks like it looks more like a term paper than it does a tax return, because there's paper on top of paper on top of paper. What are some of the things that you would encourage people who are there and they're trying to get their taxes done, they're trying to do it last minute? What's kind of the rule of thumb? Is it kind of throw everything out there and see what comes back, or what do you encourage people to do when they're doing their taxes?
Make sure that you utilize all of your resources. If you feel like you have made a mistake or you're missing something on your return, reach out to a tax professional. At H&R Block, we offer what's called a free second look. So if you want to come in and let us review your tax return, we can do that for free for you. If we see there's an error, then we could do an amendment if you make a mistake.
Even if I prepare my own taxes?
Absolutely.
Really? What do you enjoy about doing taxes? Because it can be kind of just for me to, when I get there and try to do mine. What do you enjoy about it this time of year?
I just love the ever-changing learning platform. The tax law is ever-changing, and every year we have to learn those new tax laws, and it's just a growing experience for each of us. So I think that's what drives me.
Do you find that they're easier this year, or are they more complicated? Or is it just me as just a tax person, just a taxpayer and not a prepared, I'm more daunted by all of the changes?
I don't think it's, I personally think it's a little easier this year. Just because it's a little more simplified than it has been in previous years.
Okay, but still, if you have to
it's
have
still
all
complicated.
The forms, it's still complicated. It's still, people on average, what kind of returns are they? Are they really not seeing refunds, or are they?
We see people with refunds every day.
Are they smaller than usual, or are they kind of maybe about the same on average?
We have not seen very many refund surprises.
Okay.
I will tell you that. A lot of our clients knew that last year when they filed their taxes, they kind of knew what their refund was going to be going forward for the next year, because we gave them an estimate of what it would be the following year.
All right. And so if you don't get it done by the 15th, or you're procrastinating still, get that extension, get it in early, right?
Yes.
How about state forms? Anything new with the state?
Kentucky has changed their laws somewhat, but there are no new forms.
Okay, so the same packet, the same surprise.
Yes.
All right, thank you so very much, Vanessa, and thank you so much for watching this LAX18 Digital Conversation. For more digital conversations, just log on to LAX18.com. Until next time, I'm Dia Davidson. you.